Alrighty, good morning, team and family. You know what it is. Let's do it. You're going to go ahead and write your name and date at the top, your house, your poo house, and the date, which is the 21st. And it's crazy because this morning you did your reflection and you learned that there are only 167 days left in the year before you're a seventh grader. Every single moment counts, so let's get to it. It says, let's review. On Monday, we talked about cells and the tiny structures found inside called organelles. Follow along below as Ms. Sucker walks us through the structure and function of the organelles found inside of a eukaryotic cell. We're going to move through this super quick because our packet is a little bit longer than it usually is, so make sure you're moving fast. So we know that eukaryotic means that the cell contains a nucleus and organelles. We also know that eukaryotic cells are plant and animal cells. So if I were to draw a cell, a eukaryotic cell is going to look something like this. We're going to have our nucleus. Nucleus is going to contain our genetic material, which we know is our DNA. It's going to contain the organelle to make energy for the cell, which is the mitochondria. It's going to contain a structure to store water, waste, dissolve salts, food, the vacuole. It's going to contain the lysosomes, which help to get rid of garbage and trash. So we're just going to write small notes next to it. Make energy, store water, dissolved salts and food, removes waste, control center, and genetic material. And super important is this outside piece called the cell membrane. And it is a semi-permeable, and we'll call it an envelope. That lets good gases and molecules in, like water and oxygen, and keeps harmful substances out. Why you ain't say nothing? Gotta tell me if you can't see. Awesome. So again, there's a few more structures that are found in the eukaryotic cell. For the sake of sixth grade and you being like 9 years old, this is all we need to know. Go back real quick and just underline the names of the organelles so that those pop out to you in our notes. Awesome. Now let's discuss the differences between a eukaryotic cell and a prokaryotic cell. We're going to finish like this. So we'll write eukaryotic here, prokaryotic here. We know that a prokaryotic cell has no nucleus, no specialized or organized organelles, and it's a full single celled living organism. So it's one cell operating on its own. It's a full organism We know that they both contain DNA. We're going to move over here. Eukaryotic cell has a nucleus, which holds DNA. Remember over here, the DNA is just floating inside. Here we have organized or specialized structures called organelles to help the cell function. And most importantly, eukaryotic cells, in most cases, join together with other cells to form tissues. Tissues join together to form organs. Organs join together to form an organ system. And an organ system helps the organism, like humans, to function. Okay? So we know that eukaryotic cells are made up of organelles that perform a specific function to help the cell stay alive, but more importantly, to help the cell maintain homeostasis. And remember, we learned that a few weeks ago that homeostasis is that balance. All right, let's go ahead and turn the page. We need to pause, go ahead and do that. So let's take a look up here. Miss Tucker discovered a cell behind JoJo's ear. Ew! She has enlarged the picture of this cell below. Look at what was at JoJo's ear, guys. Disgusting. Use this model to explain whether this organism is a prokaryote or a eukaryote. Explain your answer below. So you're taking a look at this cell based on what you see. Tell me, is this cell a prokaryotic cell or a eukaryotic cell? You have 2 minutes right now. Go. Oh, you thought I was just going to write the answer down? No. Try it on your own first. Right now, go ahead and pause the video. I'm coming around to circulate, so is Mr. White. I'm going to know that you paused your video if you hold a thumb up in the air. This will also help you earn leader dollars today because it will show us that you were trying to work on your own first. Thumb up in the air so we know you paused the video. Thanks so much. All right, and we're back. The correct answer is a prokaryotic cell. And there's one main reason. We see that it has a cell wall, a cell membrane, ribosomes. So it's easy to get a little bit confused. But we see that this piece, it says nucleoid region. And this just means, to make your paper look like mine, this is a collection of DNA. But there's no nucleus. We know that if a cell does not have a nucleus, it is prokaryotic every time. So we're going to write the reason the cell is prokaryotic is because there is no nucleus. Awesome. We're going to jump down to our interim review. If you need to pause and go back to get that down, go ahead and do it. A basketball player helps maintain a stable body temperature during the game by perspiring. Perspiring means to sweat. Very good. The sweat helps cool his body by evaporating. What is this an example of? Is it mitosis, homeostasis, respiration, or digestion? So here's a quick tip. If you take a look at these words, you want to ask yourself, which word have we covered in class? Which word would be important to this unit? And where have we talked about the body sweating to keep stable or to keep balance? We know that when the body is attempting to keep its balance, it is called homeostasis. Therefore, we can remove these three other answer choices. It says the skin helps regulate body temperature by allowing excess heat to escape from the body. It does this by producing sweat. If your body lost the ability to sweat, what could happen to you if you competed at a track meet? So you're running, running, running. All of a sudden, you go through this body malfunction and you can't sweat anymore. Take 15 seconds to select the correct answer. Go. All right, we're going to reveal our answer in KIPP. Excuse me. Hopefully your answer looks like this. Nothing. We're going to take that out. You would start to shiver. This happens if you're too cold. You could win the race easier. This doesn't make sense scientifically. The correct answer is you would overheat. All right, we're just going to review some of our most important cell organelles. We have the vacuole, stores, water, waste, food, and dissolved salts. This helps maintain homeostasis by keeping enough water and food for the cell to access. So it's almost like our stomach, right? So basically, it makes sure that the cell doesn't starve and the cell can remain balanced, which is what homeostasis is, because the vacuole is storing just enough of what it needs. The lysosome removes waste and broken organelles. The lysosome is like the digestive system, right? The stuff that we don't need in our body, what do? You already know we poop it out. Yes, we do. So when we think about the lysosome, it's actually breaking down things we don't need and removing it from the cell. If we did not have lysosomes, and that means that all of this bad stuff would start building up on our cells and the cell would most definitely die. And so this helps us remain balanced because it removes harmful waste from the cell. The cell membrane lets good gases and molecules in. And because of this reason, this is how we're able to get water in. It's how we're able to get oxygen in so that the cell can make energy, so that the cell can receive energy, all of those pieces. So it helps the cell maintain homeostasis by letting in just the right amount of molecules and gas. If the cell membrane malfunctions and lets in too much water or not enough water, then we have a problem. But the cell membrane knows exactly how much to let soak through the pores. We'll open up the door, be like, all right, you good, come on in. Close the door when the club is too full. So we always think of the cell membrane like a security guard, aka a bouncer at a club. Very good. So what is the purpose of the cell's organelles if we're summarizing all of this information? The organelles help the cell stay balanced or in homeostasis. Everything is in just the right amount. We store just the right amount of food or water. We remove the right amount of waste. we let in the right amount of water so that everything stays balanced. All right, if you need to pause here, go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and turn the page. Ooh, what do we have here? Nothing. Yikes. So, what I need you to do right now is to go ahead and try on your own. You should have your vocab sheets that we were using for Quizlet. If not, there is enough knowledge in your mind to try these words on your own. Same thing, you're going to pause the video, you're going to hold a thumb in the air. If we are looking around the room and I haven't seen your thumb up in like, I don't know, 75 years, it's going to be a problem, okay? You spell problem, P-R-O-H-L-U-M, problem. Go ahead right now, pause the video, thumb in the air, go ahead and try your Mad Scientist Dash. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and go through the answer. So number one, directs all cells' activities. This is going to be the nucleus. Directions for how to run the cell is the DNA. Releases the energy stored in food, mitochondria. Storage area for the cell is the vacuole. Contains digestive chemicals that break down waste and worn out cell parts. We know it's the lysosome. Semi-permeable membrane that lets only certain things into the cell. Cell membrane. Rigid wall that protects plant cells and supports the plant is the cell wall. Trap sunlight for photosynthesis, the chloroplast. Variable you change, independent variable, variable you measure, dependent variable. Things you keep the same, the control or the constant, either word is fine. Group with nothing changed is the control group. Right now, you are going to take the next 3 minutes to write down the words that you got wrong. You missed them, you did not know them, and write down their definition. If you are a true scholar, baller, shot caller, and you got all of them correct, then you are going to rewrite the definitions for these 4 because they are the most important for our exam on Tuesday. Go ahead and pause and fill in your definitions right here. Let's move on. Let's take a look at our background knowledge today and figure out what we are talking about. Organelles equals special structures within cells that are responsible for special functions. Plant cells have a cell wall, chloroplast, and large vacuoles. And these are things that the animal cell do not have. The animal cell does not have a cell wall, does not have a chloroplast. The animal cell has a small vacuole. So this is a key piece of information to let you know if you see this, we're talking about the plant cell. All right. And when we say plant cell, we're talking about a leaf. We're talking about a flower. That's how you know we're good to go. Our anchoring question today, what are we trying to figure out? How are the cell's organelles similar to what we, and it should say see every day. So actually just cross this out. This is my husband's fault. Let me see if you got the rest of this stuff right. Okay, good. But seriously, it's my husband's fault. He was supposed to, never mind. Plant versus animal cells. Let's take a look at our text. In science, particularly biology, we frequently discuss the structure and function of certain different objects and organisms. Often the structure of an object determines the function, or the function of the object determines the structure. Plants and animals are obviously very different organisms with different functions. Thus, it only makes sense that they have some key structural differences as well. The first major difference is the presence of a cell wall. Plant cells have cell walls, which is a rigid outer layer surrounding the cell for protection. Plant cells need the cell wall for extra protection given their lack of movement. So we don't see plants like walking down the street like, yo, what up, good morning, I'm a plant, you know what I'm saying? No, they stay in the soil, they stay rooted in one place. So they need extra protection against animals that are going to brush by it. Every time you touch a plant, it doesn't fall apart. It actually bends and moves and is flexible. A part of that is all of those cells that all contain a cell wall that keep it sturdy. Animal cells do not have a cell wall. The second major difference between plant and animal cells is their shape. Animal cells are more circular and irregular. So they may be shaped like this, they may be shaped like this, they may be shaped like this. Okay? Plant cells are more square because of their cell wall, like this or like that. The third major difference is the vacuole. Animal cells have several small vacuoles, So you'll often see more than one vacuole inside of an animal cell. Plant cells have one huge vacuole that stores the cell's water. Water is important for plant cells to use to complete photosynthesis. The final major difference is the presence of chloroplast. which captures sunlight in plant cells for photosynthesis. This is what makes them green because there's a small chemical in the chloroplast called chlorophyll. Right now, you're going to take the next 3 minutes to answer the questions below, here, here, and here in a complete sentence. Why does a plant need a cell wall? You're looking here, jotting it down here. What are two key differences between the plant and animal cell? One is here, one is here. Is our body made of plant or animal cells? You need to think and answer this question on your own. Go. I'm quick. Again, you're using complete sentences. I'm just going to jot down some quick notes. The plant needs a cell wall for structure and support. Two key differences are the shape. Remember, animal cell is circular, plant cells are square, and the vacuole. Animal cell has small vacuoles and there's many or several. The plant cell has one large vacuole. Is our body made of plant or animal cells? Well, do we move or do we stay planted in the dirt? You know what I'm saying? We have animal cells. We know this because we need to eat food for energy. We do not use the process of photosynthesis. If you need to pause the video here, go ahead and do that at this time. All right, evidence dive 1. This is super simple. You're going to take a look at the images here and here. Your images have a lot more things. Again, it's my husband's fault. What I want you to do is answer questions 1 through 6, and there are 2 questions in the main idea box at the bottom. Make sure both of these questions are answered. Right now, once again, you're going to put your thumb in the air. Go ahead and answer this. Go. All right, I ask you to label plant and animal cells, to put a heart, circle, and rectangle around specific organelles, and then let me know if the cells above are prokaryotic or eukaryotic. Let's take a look. So even though I can't physically see the organelles inside because they weren't printed, my labels were. So I can still do the work. You see how I'm resilient? No shortcuts, no excuses. You know what I mean? So I see that the chloroplast is pointing this way. The cell wall is pointing this way. So I know that this is the plant cell and this is the animal cell. If you got this right, I need you to know that that's huge. All right, this is one of the most important pieces for our exam on Tuesday. So if you already got that right, I'm proud of you. Excellent job. Let's keep going. Which organelle is responsible for letting in necessary molecules and gases? You should have said the cell membrane. Now, you see, I'm moving quickly and just shutting down the word. I need complete sentences from you, so you cannot just write cell membrane here. Which organelle is responsible for holding water, waste, and food? Circle it. You should have circled the vacuole, which is here. Which organelle is responsible for protecting and giving structure to the plant cell? You should have put a heart around cell wall here. Which organelle is responsible for breaking down glucose and producing energy? Put a rectangle around it. You put a rectangle around the mitochondrion. It says mitochondrion because there's more than one, but it's the mitochondria right there. List 3 key differences between a plant and animal cell. You should have named the cell wall, the chloroplast, and the large vacuole. Would the plant and animal cells pictured above be classified as prokaryotic or eukaryotic? They are eukaryotic all day, baby, simply because they have a nucleus, which we see in the image here, one on the left, one on the right, one in each cell. All right, if you need to pause to get your complete sentences down, go ahead and do that at this time and then turn the page. All right, this is the big meaty part of what we're doing today, and you're going to see a writing portion that's similar to this on your exam on Tuesday. So it's super important that you take your time with this and do it well. It says an analogy is a comparison used to explain a comparison between two things. Directions: create an analogy for each of the cells organelles. Above, it should say below because they're down here. So we have 7 important organelles: the cell membrane, cell wall, cytoplasm, nucleus, mitochondria, lysosome, and vacuole. What I'm asking you to do is to create an analogy to tell me these organelles we have over here, what are they most similar to in a city? Our organelles over here, what are they most similar to, or which of these city parts performs the same function in a city as these organelles do inside of a cell? Okay? Once you decide which cell parts match which city parts, you're going to go to the next page and you're going to write down the name of the organelle, the part of the city that it's most similar to, and explain the connection. So I did the first one for you, cytoplasm. I said the cytoplasm is like the air or atmosphere that surrounds the city. The organelles live inside of the cytoplasm, just like all of the parts of the city live inside of the atmosphere. So if this is the cell, and these are the organelles, and the red is the cytoplasm, if we have a city, and these are all the objects in the city, well, the oxygen fills in all of this space and we live in it. So that's why I thought those two were most connected. We're going to do one more together. So if I go back to my list, I can cross off cytoplasm, I can cross off the atmosphere and the air. The next one we'll do is, let's do the mitochondria. So I think the mitochondria is most similar to a power plant. Because I know that the power plant gives energy to the city. Okay? So now we're going to go to our second page. I'm going to write down the name of the organelle. I'm going to write down the part of the city. I'm going to write down the mitochondria. Gives energy to the cell, just like a power plant provides energy for the city. Okay, so now I can cross off both of those and I can move on to the next 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 6? To the next 5. Now, here's another piece. Let's say there's a part of a city that I don't have named here that you think would be a better connection for one of these words. For example, as I look at nucleus, I don't know if I agree that any of these parts of the city would be the best for a nucleus. Maybe you have a better idea. You can go ahead and write in any part of the city below that you think would be a better description for any of these words, and that's totally fine. That actually shows incredible leadership and that you can make a stronger connection. You're going to put a thumb in the air right now so that I know you are pausing the video and you are trying the rest of the second page on your own. 5 minutes, go. Awesome. So we already did the cytoplasm. It was written for you, and the mitochondria we did together. So we're going to take a look at my responses. If your answers are similar, leave it alone. If you were like completely way off or had no idea what to write down, I need you to fill in these blanks right now. This is super important. This page will be graded as a test grade. All right, here we go. The nucleus. This is the city hall or the mayor's office. The nucleus is the control center for the cell, and the mayor's office is the control center for the city. I said the cell wall was like the city limits or a wall around the city. The cell wall does not let any object in and out, just like the wall around the city protects it from intruders. The next one is lysosome. It's like a recycling plant or waste management. Both the lysosome and waste management remove trash. Next word is the vacuole. I said it was like the storage center or parking garage. The vacuole stores water, waste, and food, like the storage center stores important objects for people, or a parking garage stores our cars until we need them. I said the cell membrane was like a toll road. The toll road only lets certain people in, like the cell membrane, or you could connect it to the person who works in the toll booth, because if you don't have them quarters, you ain't getting through to the city. I'm just saying that's real embarrassing when you at the toll booth and you like, I don't have no cash though. And they be like, well, I guess you got to around. Or they call the police on you. I'm not saying I ran away from the police. I'm just saying. Now, We are going to review the parts of the plant cell. You have exactly 2 minutes to do this on your own, silent and solo. Go ahead and put your thumb in the air so we know you are working on your own. All right, let's take a look. It says, which of the following organelles is responsible for holding water? Whoops, the answer was not there. You should have written in vacuole. If you picked one of these answers, you're a dum-dum. Come on now, we've just been talking about the whole class. I'm just playing, you're not a dum-dum. Some of you are. Which of the following organelles is responsible for holding the genetic materials and instructions? You should have said the nucleus. Which of the following organelles is responsible for creating energy for the cell? The mitochondria. Which of the following organelles is found in both a plant and animal cell? You should have chose nucleus, mitochondria, cell membrane, and vacuole. If you got all of these correct, you are definitely going to ace the test on Tuesday. Right now, it is time for our exit ticket. There are 2 parts. You are answering the multiple choice question, explaining why you picked it. Multiple choice question, explain why you picked it. Multiple choice, you see the pattern, explain why you picked it. There is a multiple choice question at the bottom. Think through it carefully. You have one more multiple choice question at the top, and then I give you a cell. You are focusing on letters A, which is here, letter D, which is here, letter F, which is here, and letter B, which is here. You need to write down the name of the organelle that these letters represent. I give you a hint. Now, mind you, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 letters, but there's 2, 4, 6, 8 words. So you only need 4 words in this word bank. The rest of them are just here to distract you. All right? It should take you about 9 minutes or so to finish your exit ticket. Y'all did a phenomenal job today. I'm super excited for us to take our exam on Tuesday and see how awesome we do. I love you guys a lot. I'm always so impressed by how hard you work. Excellent job today. Good luck on your exit ticket. Ta-ta.